My father's name flashes on my phone for the 5th time in a row. I watch it vibrate against my sleek glass desk, a surface worlds apart from the scratched oak table where I used to do homework as a child. Outside, the Chicago skyline glints under the afternoon sun, 5 stories below and 800 miles away from the ranch-style house I once called home. I hover my finger over the ignore button again. The leather chair creaks as I shift my weight. 3 seconds after the call ends, a new email arrives from Lawrence Reynolds. Subject: Your sister needs you. Last chance. My stomach tightens. I open the message and my eyes skim over the text, barely registering the words. Except the final line. Chloe's wedding is the most important event of her life. Be there or forget about any future support. A voicemail notification pops up next. I press play and set it on speaker. Maiden, it's your father. I don't know what game you're playing, but this has gone on long enough. Your sister's wedding is in 2 weeks. Festivities start this weekend. If you can't put aside whatever grievance you have for Chloe's special time, then you can forget about any future support from this family. Your mother is beside herself. Call me back immediately. A bitter laugh escapes my throat. I cross the room to my closet and pull out a frame hidden behind a row of winter coats. My diploma. The gold embossing still gleams. Maiden Ann Reynolds. Bachelor of Science in Data Science. Summa cum laude. 3 years it's been sitting here, collecting dust instead of hanging on the wall. Because old habits die hard. Because for so long I was taught to shrink myself, to be quiet, to not outshine the golden child. My phone buzzes again. This time, a text from my mother. Please call, your father is getting impatient. I glance at the desk calendar. Chloe's 2-week wedding extravaganza is circled in angry red. 14 days of ceremonies, photo shoots, family gatherings, and one too many forced smiles. I tap open my banking app. Savings, $138,139.27. More than enough to live on. More than enough to know I'll never need their support again. They just don't know it yet. A memory surfaces. 3rd grade. I'd come home clutching a report card with 5 perfect A's. Mom didn't even look up from her magazine. That's nice, honey. That same evening, the living room erupted in applause for Chloe's participation ribbon from a school play. She was the best one up there, Dad had beamed as I sat invisible on the stairs. It's always been this way. But not anymore. I walk back to my desk, run my fingers over my name on the diploma, and whisper to no one. It's time they finally see me. My laptop glows as I book a first-class ticket home. Not for them. For me. The rental car crunches over familiar gravel as I pull into the driveway. My childhood home looks like something from a bridal magazine now. White roses everywhere, ivory fabric wrapped around the porch railings, and a custom welcome sign that reads, Chloe and Elliot, a forever love. The front door swings open before I even reach the steps. Maiden, finally, my mother says, pulling me into a hug that's more obligation than affection. Decided to support your sister after all. Before I can answer, she's already directing me inside, her tone brisk. The house smells like vanilla candles and fresh paint. Every surface is covered with ribbons, gift bags, or seating charts. It's not a home, it's a set for Chloe's big performance. My father steps out from his study, reading glasses perched on his nose. He doesn't greet me with warmth, just a nod and a clipboard. Good, you're here. Programs need folding, gift bags need stuffing. Chloe needs these done by 4. I just walked in the door, Dad. And now you have something useful to do. Before I can argue, a shrill voice cuts through the air. No, I said cascading arrangements, not gathered. Chloe descends the staircase, her phone pressed to her ear. Her hair is perfectly styled, her manicure flawless. She sees me and holds up one finger. The universal sign for, wait. This is literally ruining everything, she groans into the phone. Fix it. I don't care how. Then she turns to me, plastering on a dramatic sigh. Thank God you're here. The caterer's threatening to walk and Mom is useless with the seating chart. Nice to see you too, Chloe. Elliot's planning a surprise for the reception. I need to make sure it matches everything else. It's all got to be perfect. She doesn't ask how I've been or what I've been doing these past few years. No one does. Elliot? I ask, setting down my bag. Per fiancé. My mother supplies. You'll meet him at dinner. He's absolutely wonderful, a brilliant investor. Crypto millionaire, Chloe corrects proudly. Dinner arrives with him right on schedule. Elliot Brady, tall, sharply dressed, confident. The kind of man who looks like he belongs in an ad for luxury watches. So the mysterious sister finally shows up, he says, gripping my hand a little too firmly. Chloe says you're some kind of computer genius hiding in the big city. I'm a product analyst, I reply, neutral. Sounds intense, he winks. I've got friends developing an AI trading platform. Revolutionary stuff. We should talk shop sometime. During dinner, Elliot dominates the conversation. Crypto this, investment that. Exclusive opportunities only available through his network. My father listens, enthralled. So, which exchanges do you use? I ask casually. Elliot's smile freezes for half a second. Oh, a mix, mostly private platforms, exclusive access through my team. And your company's based where? We're decentralized, the beauty of blockchain. My mother shifts uncomfortably. My father shoots me a warning look. Maiden, not everyone wants to talk business over dinner. As I'm not here for dinner. I'm here because something doesn't add up. And I've spent my whole life watching from the sidelines. Not this time. Later that night, while everyone else fusses over floral placements and signature cocktail names, I slip into my father's study under the pretense of searching for wedding programs. The room is dim and quiet, its mahogany shelves still lined with the same outdated business books from my childhood. What catches my eye, however, is a folder sitting half-hidden beneath a stack of catalogs. I slide it out. Refinancing paperwork. The property I grew up in almost entirely paid off for years, now burdened with a fresh mortgage, dated just 3 weeks ago. I flip through the pages, the numbers sharp and unforgiving. $15,000, 0 cents withdrawn, investment capital written in scrawled ink, co-signed by my father. My pulse picks up. The same man who once argued with me over a $75, 0 cents calculator for school has now taken out a second mortgage on the family home. For Elliot. Voices float in from the dining room. Lawrence, are you sure about this second mortgage? My mother's voice wavers. That's everything for my inheritance too, she adds softly. Elliot has guaranteed 20% returns. Minimum. My father replies, too quickly. You wouldn't understand. Investments like these. This is how real wealth is built. I lean back against the wall, my mind already piecing together the risk variables. The promises, the vagueness, the overconfidence. It's textbook fraud, the kind I warn clients about at work. And now, it's sitting in my parents' home, wearing a designer blazer and sipping red wine. The next morning, I find myself outside with Aunt Helen, pretending to admire the flower arrangements in the garden. You see it too, don't you? I ask quietly. She doesn't look at me, but her voice is low and steady. Mr. Wilson down the street lost $30,000 0 cents to an exclusive investment opportunity last year. Sounded awfully familiar when I heard Elliot talk. I nod. He's charming, convincing, too polished. His story doesn't track. He won't listen to me, she says of my father. Started saying I've always been jealous of his success. The words sting, but I'm not surprised. It's easier to believe in Elliot's dream than admit the truth about who he really is. Later that afternoon, I stop by Rosie's coffee shop, my old refuge during high school. The same vinyl booth, the same chipped counter, the same waitress, Margie. She eyes my laptop screen as she refills my coffee. That him? she asks, nodding to a photo on my screen. You know him? Called himself Edward something when he was with my cousin. Took $60, 0 cents K, and her engagement ring. Disappeared a week before the wedding. My fingers hover over the keyboard. Edward Lambert. One of 3 aliases I've already found. Ethan Lewis, Elliot Lawson, and now Elliot Brady. Same face. Same promises. Same vanishing act just before the vows. 2 hours later, across from me sits Karen, one of his former fiancés. Her hands tremble as she flips through a folder of photographs and police reports. I thought I was special, she whispers. He made me feel chosen. Her voice cracks. He disappeared 3 days before our wedding, took everything. Bank transfers to offshore accounts, stolen heirlooms, multiple victims. I take the folder and close it gently. The wedding is in 5 days, and my sister is about to become his next story. I won't let it happen. That night, I barely sleep. The hotel bed feels like a stranger, the silence louder than ever. I stare at the ceiling, turning over every fact, every photo, every financial record I've uncovered. My analyst mind races through timelines, aliases, cross-referencing locations and dates. There's no doubt. Elliot Brady is a con artist. And Chloe is just 5 days away from becoming his next victim. By morning, my plan is set. I print everything, screenshots of Elliot's LinkedIn profile under different names, wire transfer receipts from Karen's case, police statements from 3 different states, and most importantly, a timeline connecting his disappearances to each wedding he abandoned. It's all there in black and white. I return to the house around noon, armed with facts and resolve. The front door creaks as I enter, but no one greets me. Just the sound of someone crying. I follow the noise to the dining room. Chloe sits hunched over the table, surrounded by discarded place cards and crumpled tissues. The calligrapher used the wrong font, she sobs. I specifically said romantic script, and this is clearly classic serif. It ruins everything. I hesitate at the door. This is the moment I could walk away, keep my evidence to myself. Let things unfold the way they're destined to. Let her find out on her own. But I know what that would feel like. To learn too late. I step into the room. I can call the calligrapher, I offer gently. She looks up at me through smudged mascara. Dad already did. At least he supports me. Of course he does. In the living room that evening, I call for a family meeting. Everyone gathers slowly, my mother with folded arms, my father with a drink in hand, Chloe trailing behind, red-eyed but composed. Elliot, ever the charmer, brings a bottle of wine. What's this about? My father asks. I place the folder on the coffee table and open it. This is about Elliot, I say. Elliot raises an eyebrow, a polite smile on his face. I've done some digging, and I've found evidence that he's not who he says he is. Chloe rolls her eyes. Seriously? My mother sighs. Maiden, not this again. I keep my voice steady. Elliot Brady is an alias. He's also gone by Edward Lambert and Ethan Lewis. In all 3 cases, he posed as a wealthy investor, got engaged to women, convinced their families to invest money, then disappeared days before the wedding. I pass around copies of the reports, photographs, and victim statements. He's done this before, he's doing it again. Elliot laughs softly. This is clearly a misunderstanding. I have a common face. People mix me up all the time. Karen's photo side by side with Chloe's. Same man, same smile. 3 women in 3 different states. All with the same story, I say. Chloe pushes the papers away. You've always hated that I'm happy. You can't stand that I found someone who loves me. This isn't about jealousy, I reply. It's about facts. Enough, my father barks. This is absurd. Do you think we're fools? No, I say quietly. I think you're desperate to believe in something, even when the truth is staring you in the face. Chloe's breathing is sharp, furious. You're just trying to ruin everything. Look at the mortgage, Dad, I add. You've invested your home, Mom's inheritance, everything. And he's planning to vanish. My mother looks down. Elliot steps forward, voice smooth. I understand. You're concerned for your family. But this is slander. And just like that, The walls come up again. They don't want the truth. They want the fantasy. Even if it costs them everything. Even if it costs her. I sit alone at the edge of the living room, watching the people I once called family process the truth they don't want to hear. My father paces near the fireplace, lips tight. My mother fidgets with a napkin in her lap. Chloe glares at me like I've just set fire to her dress. And Elliot, he remains perfectly calm, as if he's done this a dozen times before. This is clearly an attack, Elliot says, with just the right amount of hurt in his voice. I came into this family with nothing but love for Chloe. I stand up slowly. You came into this family with a plan. My father rounds on me. Enough, maiden. I won't let you ruin your sister's wedding with these wild accusations. I meet his stare, unblinking. Then maybe it's time I tell you who I really am. They fall silent. I never went to community college. I never lived at home after high school. I boarded a bus to Chicago with 2 suitcases and a full scholarship to the University of Chicago. I graduated at the top of my class. I've been working as a product analyst ever since. I pull out my company ID and place it on the coffee table. 6 figures, full benefits. I'd been living my life, quietly, successfully, while you all thought I was some dropout freeloading in the suburbs. My mother's mouth opens and closes. That can't be true. Call my office. Look up my LinkedIn. I've been someone else entirely while you were too busy polishing Chloe's participation trophies. Chloe scoffs. So what? You're bitter because I got the attention and now you want to humiliate me? No, I say. I want to save you. By ambushing my fiancé with ancient photos and stories from strangers. By showing you what he really is. Chloe throws the papers off the table. I don't care. Even if it were true, he's changed. He loves me. He loves your family's money, I say, voice low. The second mortgage. The investments. The inheritance. He's not staying past Saturday. Chloe's face twists with rage and heartbreak. You're just jealous. The word hits like a slap. Jealous. For years I tried to be seen. For years I waited for a sliver of the praise they gave her for just existing. But not anymore. I straighten my shoulders. I'm not jealous, Chloe. I'm free. My father slams his hand on the mantel. That's enough. You've said your piece. Now leave. Elliot places a hand on his shoulder, all concern and charm. She's just confused, Lawrence. Let's not make this uglier than it has to be. His words are calculated, calm, and utterly false. I gather the papers into my folder and look one last time at the people I used to beg to love me. When he disappears with everything you've given him, I say quietly, remember that someone tried to stop it. And then, I turn. The front door is heavier than I remember. At 17, I had to sneak out just to breathe. At 26, I walk out with my head high, dragging no lies behind me. They may never believe me. But I know who I am now. And I won't disappear. Not for them. Not for anyone. I spend the next morning at Rosie's again, sipping black coffee in the same corner booth where I once studied for my AP Calculus exam. Outside the window, the same rusted stop sign, the same crack in the sidewalk. But everything feels different now because I am different. I scroll through my laptop, eyes fixed on an open tab, a fraud alert form. I hesitate, then click submit. My phone buzzes, a message from Aunt Helen. He left. 2 days before the wedding. Chloe's inconsolable. Your dad won't talk. I close my eyes. He did it again. I warned them. And still he vanished with their money, their trust, and their pride. Just like he had with the women before Chloe. Just like I said he would. But unlike them, I didn't disappear. This time, I told the truth. This time, I stood in the storm and refused to flinch. 2 days later, I receive a second text from Chloe. I'm sorry. 2 words, no punctuation, no excuses, but maybe a start. I don't reply, not yet. Back in Chicago, I hang my diploma on the wall for the first time. Frame polished, centered, visible. I call it closure. I call it a reminder. I call it mine. Later, I write the final lines in a journal I haven't opened in years. Sometimes the ones who should have seen you never do. Sometimes being invisible teaches you how to become undeniable. Have you ever stood alone in a room full of people you once loved, speaking a truth no one wanted to hear? Have you ever been the only one to see the danger and still chosen to speak, even when it cost you everything? If this story speaks to you, if you've ever walked away not because you wanted to, but because you had to, then this moment is yours too. Don't wait to be seen. See yourself first. If you've ever had to stand in the fire and speak your truth knowing no one would believe you, you're not alone. Maiden's story is for you. If this story moved you, please like, share, and comment below. Let's make sure no one who speaks the truth ever feels invisible again.